Welcome back to Just Drive It with Stephen Holtz. We're going to take and do an unboxing today and give you a background on what's going on. Come along with us. Alright, to give you a little bit of background, yes, I am wearing sunglasses. Sun's out. My wife tells me I have what's called gringo eyes. I always have the really bad squint when it comes to sun in the face and everything, so I wear these. Otherwise, it looks like my eyes are shut. So what we're going to come to is we've got a few things here for the car. So let's get on to unboxing them. One of the things that I wanted to do was to get a good set of mufflers. Since we're going to be 5 different people in this car and we're going to be driving it for as far as we are, and not all of us are going to absolutely like the sound of the exhaust, I tried to find something that would have less drone. I was also looking for something that was made in the USA. What I ended up with, if it pop loose, are these right here. Made in USA, Paradox mufflers. So what their claim to fame is if you look on this side, the first part of the muffler is similar to a glass pack where it's got the louvers and the packing. The back half actually has tuning forks that actually cancel out the drone under higher RPMs inside the car. So it's supposed to be a real good one. I listened to the sound bites online. Different ones sounded a little bit differently. We'll see how these look. Let's see. It looks very similar to a regular glass pack. You got an inlet there. It is patented. Paradox performance mufflers. They're out of Missouri and it's made in the USA. I chose aluminized tubing. Why? I'm not up in an area where there's a lot of rust. I've had aluminized mufflers that went on 25 years ago that are still good. I've got Flowmasters that are like that. I like the Delta Flows a whole lot because they have a lot to do with getting rid of the drone as well. But in this case, this is a directional muffler. You do have your flow, inlet, so your outlet. If you look in here, you can see there's the tuning forks. If you look in from this side, you can see the louvers and everything. I'm really excited to see how these run. Hopefully it gives a good sound, but most of all, it gives it a sound that we can actually live with in the car because we're driving a long way and I want to drive this for more than just this event. Next up, this came in from Marty Burke. He's part of the Fairlane Club of America. He also does all kinds of performance stuff, whether it's cryo, treating engine parts and such. But what I ended up getting from him this time, I have a couple other pieces I need to get, but I have to do body work for. But what I picked up this time from him are actually, as you can see, that's Dennis Carpenter, Ford Motor Company lenses. These are my parking lamp lenses, which go down here. This one is all crazed up. It's got cracks all in it. This one here is totally gone. So I got 2 of those from him. He also is one of the few who actually manufactures, actually he's the only one who manufactures these eyebrows here. But I've got dings here. I've got a nice little dent here. I couldn't do his parts justice. Later on down the road, when I get that all worked out, we're going to revisit it again and get the leading edge for the for the hood trim and this trim from him as well. We also may send some engine parts to him to have them cryo treated. Next up, I did an unboxing before and actually never put it up because including with that unboxing were parts that I ended up not using. These actually are a caster camber kit. This is for doing the adjustments on the control arms for these cars, and this gives you a lot more adjustment than stock. This came out from Opentracker Racing. What I have also from them is I also have their roller spring purchase, a roller idler arm, and new inner outer tie rods. And it all will fit and work up with the Granada brake package that I have on here. I actually moved this car with the Granada steering system because when I first got the parts, I was all set to put them on, but my drag leak was bent pretty bad. Actually, I'll show that here. So this was the last part of the puzzle. They got their stuff to me really fast. I mean, just really great people, really went out of their way to take and make sure. So if you want to take and get some really good performance cornering steering parts that actually work without breaking the bank, go look at Opentracker Racing, because they've been at it for a long time and use the stock geometry without any of the trick, change over the coilovers, this, that, or the other, change the whole front suspension. These are actually improvements on the stock one, but actually make it work the way it's supposed to go. So this is the different kits for this. Next up, of course, we got parts from National Parts Depot. Hopefully everything's in here. It usually is. They're really, really great about it. All the stuff's usually there in stock instead of having to wait on back orders and stuff. Now, not all these parts are going to be for this car. Reason being, I did purchase a few parts for the 67 Fastback Mustang. Now, to complement everything, since I've already replaced the upper ball joints on here, but not the lowers, I found out the Mustang 68-69 control arms are actually the same between the Mustang and the Fairlane. So I got these. It's got the jacking points on it, got brand new riveted ball joint on it, good replacement, good bushing, so that'll go good with the Opentracker stuff that I've already got. One of the other things, y'all have seen the stuff that I did on the transmission fill tube. Well, I'm actually going to use this, which is actually the proper dipstick to it, and I'm actually going to trim that one down so it doesn't come all the way out and forward like it did when it was on the van. That way it's got a little bit less real estate that it's taking up. Oops. And on top of that, it makes putting the oil in the transmission a lot easier. One of the things that was bad on this car, and I'll bring it out here, I thought it was still good, ended up being bad, was the thermostat housing when we tried to move it the other day. So I purchased a brand new thermostat housing, and it actually has the extra port on top, so you can add some of your controls or even an extra temperature sensor. And I got a 160-degree thermostat. I know a lot of people want to go with the 180s and stuff like that. This car is actually going to run a little bit better because of the transmission cooler that's in this one with the 160. It's going to need it. I still have to get the external transmission cooler, but we'll go from there. Now, this actually, if I can find the knife, this bag here has several different sets of parts in it. One of the things that I did, since I've got so many cars here, we've got the 65 Fairlane, we've got the 68 Fairlane, we've got the Fastback, and they're all using basically the same setup for the speedometer gears and stuff. I went through and bought the full line of speedometer gears. So we've got the different colors. You got white, cream, red, yellow. Got two extra clips for them. A black one, purple one. So each one of these is going to be a different set of teeth on it. And I think this is, let's see, I'd have to check the part numbers, but each one is different one. That way I can go through and dial in the speedometer on the car. Next parts up, these are actually the square style captured nuts that go in the bottom of the rocker panels so that you can hook up your lower portion of your fender on the Mustang Fastback. That's what that one's for. Another gear. Let's see, what's this one? This one's for. This is for the shift rod. And then this is another setup for shims and different stuff like that for the lower rocker panel as well to the fender. I wanted to make sure I had enough of those. And that looks like it's it on those. So that leaves one more. And this is actually a pretty important piece right here, because basically when I moved that car, I only had one forward gear. The reason being, on the back of the transmission, you have a vacuum modulator that transfers load signal and such to your transmission. And in here, while packing, I've got the actual modulator valve set up. This actually connects the modulator valve to the front of the engine so that you can go through and shift properly. I think it goes something similar to this. It plugs in like that. But I needed this because I didn't have one for this, so that's good. So basically, that's this unboxing. I know it's a big mess, bunch of parts, a lot of talking, but this is the small parts that I need to try to keep this thing ready so that I can go ahead and start moving it around, try to get it on the actual blacktop and get it driving around to check any issues with fuel tank, with suspension, with just the normal stuff without even having to worry about the racing stuff for the No Name Nationals. Now, I'm waiting for the torque converter. I ended up picking up a new rear end for it. Reason being, it was going to be way too much money to just put together a third member for the 8-inch rear end that was in here and not knowing if I was going to blow it up or not. So I got a 9-inch rear end coming in from Quick Performance, but it was about 5 to 6 weeks lead time, so we still have another probably 4 weeks before that gets here, at least another month. I'm not sure what time PTC is going to send the torque converter out, but that's already been purchased. My headers were purchased a long time ago. Those were actually purchased, golly, 2 months ago. They won't be out until the end of July, first part of August, so those will be going on as well. So there's some big parts that are going to be coming in as well, and we'll get to those probably in August, but this stuff will go on as soon as I get a chance right here, right now. But thank you for watching. Thank you for looking at my mess. If you like this, like, subscribe, Rumble if you're on Rumble. Give us a comment down there. Give a shout out to the guys on the No Name Nationals, the ones who are trying to get to 500. If you put in hashtag No Name Nationals in your search engine, it'll bring them up. I want to thank different ones for helping me track down different parts like this, like Marty Burke, like the guys from Opentracker Racing. I want to thank Jeff Ford as well, because he was able to give me some information that helped bring this about. So appreciate it. Just drive it.